Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract opportunities and prosperity, while others remain in the same place, year after year? The truth is harsh, but liberating. It's not luck, it's not talent, and it's not always effort. What makes the difference is what you do. Can't you see, hidden in your daily choices and the way you approach life? And here's the paradox. Often, trying to chase after without direction is precisely what keeps you stuck. That's why what I'm going to share with you today isn't just empty motivational advice, it's a action map, which, if followed, can radically change every area of your life. Imagine looking back in a few months and realizing that it all started because you took the first step, which seemed too small to make a difference. But he did. You'll discover strategies that almost no one teaches because they're simple, yet incredibly powerful. Things that seem counterintuitive, acting even when afraid, disciplining your mind when no one is watching, using pain as fuel, and transforming every difficulty into a stepping stone for growth. And the best part, these aren't distant theories or abstract tips. They're applicable practices, experiences that anyone can implement today and start reaping real results. If you feel stuck, tired of trying and failing, or that your potential is being held back by wrong choices, stay with me, because what comes next will show you how to break free from autopilot and start creating the life you've always wanted. But nobody told you the way. Prepare to question beliefs, break through internal barriers, and see opportunities hidden right before your eyes. What you are about to learn is not just about earning more, achieving more, or surviving better. It's about to regain your freedom, your focus, and your ability to act with purpose. And it all begins with a single step: being willing to follow each direction with attention and courage. So take a deep breath. Leave the rest of the world aside for a few minutes and open your mind to something that it can change everything if you let it, because, honestly, what comes next could be the turning point between staying in the same place and finally transforming your story from the inside out. The awakening. When you understand that freedom isn't about doing everything, it's about mastering yourself. Have you ever noticed how life can become like an autopilot, beautiful on the outside but empty on the inside? You wake up, rush, solve problems, smile at those who need it, and, in the end, feel like something was missing. And then comes that temptation disguised as just today. A quick pleasure, a shortcut, an escape. But sin always charges interest. First it promises relief, then it delivers burden. And that's exactly when God calls you to an awakening. Self-control. It's not prison, it's freedom. Think about it. If you don't control your desires, someone or something else controls you. It's that simple. Discipline. It's like a steering wheel. It's not there to stop you from going, it's there to keep you on the right track. Want a practical example? When anxiety strikes, replace running away with positioning. 60 seconds of slow breathing, then a short and direct prayer. And then a micro-action. Make the bed, wash the dishes, open your notebook, and write down 3 priorities for the day. Small action, big mind. This seems like little, but it's the beginning of mentality of purpose. You stop reacting and start choosing. Now comes the part that almost no one talks about. Self-control. It's not brute force. It's alignment. When you decide that your life has purpose, temptations lose their luster. It's as if the light turns on and the illusion becomes obvious. And you know what happens next? You start noticing signs, opportunities, and directions that previously went unnoticed, like, wow, how did I not see this before? Because God doesn't usually shout. He guides, and a peaceful mind sees what a warring mind ignores. But to truly see, there's a specific field where this battle begins, and that's exactly where we'll go in the next topic. A mind as a battlefield, where everything begins before it appears on the outside. If you look closely, you'll notice a somewhat uncomfortable yet liberating truth. Your life today is a faithful reflection of your past. Mentality yesterday. Nothing comes from nothing. Before scarcity appears in your pocket, it settles in your thoughts. Before victory, an internal decision is born. That's why the mind is the true battlefield. It's not drama, it's strategy. Whoever wins on the inside, sooner or later, wins on the outside. There's no shortcut here. Notice how repeated thoughts become silent beliefs, and beliefs become automatic behaviors. If you think, "This isn't for me," your body obeys. If you think, "I'm not capable," action freezes. Now, change the script. When fear arises, respond aloud. I act even when afraid. This simple act reorganizes the brain and strengthens the self-control making room for discipline daily. That's how the mind begins to work in your favor, purpose, and not against him. A simple yet powerful practice. Every morning, before touching your phone, write a page answering just one question. What is the best decision I can make today, even if it's uncomfortable? This trains focus, clarity, and builds a missing word, likely self-confidence. Mentality real growth, not empty motivation. Because when the mind changes, the choices change. And when the choices change, the whole game changes. But thinking correctly isn't enough. There's a point where thinking becomes action, and that's where many people get stuck. The subject of the next topic. Action. Why God doesn't guide those who remain still. Here's a truth that almost no one likes to hear. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes later. Many people wait until they feel secure, motivated, or absolutely certain to begin, and end up never starting. God doesn't usually reveal the entire path. He reveals the next step. And this step almost always requires discipline, even when the mentality, it's still being adjusted. It's in the movement that the sky confirms, not in comfortable waiting. Imagine a boat stopped at sea. No matter how good the map, there is no direction without movement. When you act, even in small ways, something powerful happens inside. The self-control. Take control. Practical example. Want to change your financial life? Start by writing down everything that comes in and goes out for 7 days, without judgment. Want to grow spiritually? Set a fixed time of 10 minutes a day, even if you don't feel like it. The simple action trains the body to obey the purpose, not the mood of the day. And you know what's curious? After the first step, the fear doesn't disappear, but it loses power. You realize that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's making a decision despite it. Each action generates internal evidence. I can do it. I move forward. I control my choices. That's how mentality strength is gained through practice, not just pretty words. But every action encounters resistance, both internal and external. And that's when fear tries to regain control. Exactly what we're going to unlock in the next section. Fear and courage. Why moving forward with fear is still moving forward. Let's get one thing straight once and for all. Fear is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of importance. If something didn't matter, you wouldn't feel anything. Fear appears when it does. Purpose involved. The problem isn't feeling fear. The problem is letting it decide for you. Courage isn't that heroic state from movies. It's simply acting even with your voice trembling inside. And that's where the self-control it acts as a guardian of your choices. Notice how fear always talks to the future, never to the present. It says, what if it goes wrong? What if they laugh at you? What if you lose? The practical answer is simple. Bring the decision into the present. Today, what is the smallest possible action that honors your discipline and its mentality growth? When you break down the challenge into small steps, the fear shrinks. It's almost automatic. A real-life example. Many people freeze up before starting something new because they want to get everything right the first time. But those who build a solid life understand that making mistakes is part of the process, not failure. You adjust along the way, learn by doing, and mature by executing. Every time you act despite fear, something changes inside. Your identity is strengthened. And when identity changes, fear ceases to be the boss and becomes merely a warning. But there's an even deeper point. Sometimes fear is born from past pain. Unresolved wounds, losses, and frustrations try to protect you, but end up limiting you. And when you understand that even pain carries learning, fear loses its narrative. Because what almost broke you also prepared you. And it's precisely about this silent growth, forged in pain, that we'll talk about in the next section. Pain as training. When what hurts also builds you up. There's a silent truth that almost no one teaches. Pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to refine you. If you look honestly, you'll realize that your greatest achievements were born after difficult times. Losses, frustrations, and setbacks are not punishments. They are course corrections to align you with your goals. Purpose okay. The problem is that when it hurts, the mind wants to escape. But the mentality a mature person learns to extract lessons. And it is at this point that self-control it becomes emotional maturity. Think of pain as an invisible gym. Nobody likes the workout, but everyone wants the results. Every difficulty develops resilience, focus, and clarity, as long as you don't become bitter in the process. A practical exercise here is simple. Whenever something goes wrong, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Write down the answer, even if it hurts to admit, because awareness generates discipline internally. Those who learn from pain stop repeating cycles and begin to level up. And there's more. When you understand that pain doesn't define who you are, it loses its power to paralyze you. You start to act even when hurt, even when tired, even when insecure. And that changes everything. Because real growth doesn't happen when everything is going well, but when you choose to keep going. Pain prepares you to sustain what you asked for in prayer, even without realizing it. But to sustain what comes next, there's a specific strength that needs to be built day by day. And that's what we're going to unlock in the next topic. Discipline. Building a solid future that no one can shake. Discipline is not about being a bore, a rule, or an obligation. Discipline is freedom in disguise. It's what transforms intention into reality, what takes loose dreams and turns them into concrete results. Without discipline, even the best strategy, prayer, or mindset will slip through your fingers. But with discipline, each small step accumulates. Each repeated action creates an invisible multiplier effect. It's the foundation that sustains self-control, courage, and purpose, even when the path is difficult. You know that proverb, diligent hands will rule. It's not just a pretty story, it's a practical survival manual. Those who learn to be consistent see opportunities where others only see difficulties. A real example. If you commit to studying finance, marketing, or personal development for 30 minutes a day, 6 months later you'll be light years ahead of someone waiting for the right moment. Discipline also protects you from impulse. It prevents quick decisions driven by fear or momentary pleasure. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. It's not effort, it's a habit of excellence. Another essential point. Discipline is cumulative, not instantaneous. It's no use starting one day with 100% energy and giving up the next, because the effect is zero. The secret is consistency, even if slow. Small, repeated acts overcome great talents lacking consistency. Each morning, each choice, each action aligned with purpose is another brick in your personal fortress. And it is this fortress that allows you to move forward with confidence when greater challenges arise. A theme that connects directly to what comes next. And here's a detail that few people mention. Discipline without mentality. Clearly, effort is empty. It needs direction, a strong why, something that makes you get up even when no one is watching. That's why all the previous practices, self-control, courage, action, and learning from pain, come together in discipline. When they converge, you begin to see your life transform consistently and profoundly. And it is precisely this continuous transformation that prepares the ground for extraordinary experiences that we will still explore. Finally, discipline is a long-term practice, but also a daily opportunity. Every decision today, even a small one, can generate effects that change everything tomorrow. It's living proof that God doesn't work through improvisation. He acts through consistency and persistence. And when you understand this, you begin to see that every aligned choice is not a sacrifice, it's an investment. And it is precisely in this investment that your future life will be built, and where real prosperity begins to manifest. Now that you understand the importance of each step, self-control, mindset, action, courage, learning from pain, and discipline, the question remains, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will he leave these beautiful ideas in his head, or will he transform each one of them into concrete action? Today, think about it. Every small decision you make now is a brick in the construction of your freedom, prosperity, and purpose. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is the next step I can take today, even if it's imperfect? It could be writing down your priorities, putting a routine into practice, facing a fear, or correcting an old mistake. Any aligned action changes everything. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it will never arrive if you don't act. And if you stop to think about it, every challenge you've ever faced was preparing you to act at this very moment. So how about putting what you've learned here into practice now, and not just into reflection? With each small action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of leading your own life, without waiting for others to do it for you. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's acting even when fear is present. Now I want to challenge you. Comment here an action that you will put into practice today. Share it with someone close to you. Make a public commitment. Do whatever it takes to keep this learning from dying in the intention. And of course, if you want to continue receiving content that strengthens your mind, heart, and purpose, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Each insight can be that push that transforms a week, a month, or even the entire year of your life. So let's do this together. Apply, comment, share, and keep going. Because the next step is always what defines whether you move forward or remain stagnant.